It's the morning after a horrific attack in Manchester, and the picture is becoming clearer. Overnight, names have been confirmed, suspects arrested, and questions are now being asked at the very highest level of government. This is no longer just about one attacker. The investigation has widened, and the scale of what happened is only just emerging. Let's break this down, but first, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more. Manchester was shaken by a devastating terrorist attack outside the Heaton Park Hebrew Congregation Synagogue in Crumpsall. This morning we have major new updates from both police and government sources. The man responsible for launching the attack has now been named. The Home Office has confirmed he was 35-year-old Jihad al-Shami, a British national of Syrian descent. Al-Shami entered the UK as a very young child and was later granted British citizenship in 2006 while still a minor. Al-Shami was shot dead at the scene by armed police after carrying out the attack. Greater Manchester Police have now confirmed that 3 additional suspects are in custody in connection with the incident. They have been arrested on suspicion of commission, preparation, and instigation of acts of terrorism. Those arrested are understood to be 2 men in their 30s and a woman in her 60s. Officers remain active across the city, with operations ongoing at White House Avenue in Crumpsall and Langley Crescent in Prestwich, which are linked to the arrests. The scale of the tragedy itself is still sinking in. 2 men were killed in the terror attack outside the synagogue. 3 more remain in hospital with serious injuries. 1 was stabbed, another was struck by the attacker's car, and a 3rd man later presented himself at hospital with an injury believed to have been sustained as officers stopped al-Shami. There had also been significant concern earlier in the day about a suspicious device worn by the attacker. Police and bomb disposal teams assessed the item, but it was later determined to be not viable. One of the most striking developments so far is that al-Shami's name has not appeared in initial police or security service records. GB News reports he was not under investigation at the time of the attack. Security services are now urgently combing through historic case files to see if his details appear elsewhere, or if he had any connection to other individuals of concern. The response from the Jewish community has been both emotional and sobering. The Board of Deputies of British Jews and the Jewish Leadership Council issued a joint statement. They said the attack was, sadly, something we feared was coming, particularly at a time of rising anti-Semitism in the UK. They continued, "As we emerge from the fast of Yom Kippur, the holiest day in our calendar, many in our community will only now be learning of the horrific attack on Heaton Park Hebrew Congregation in Manchester. We are devastated at the loss of 2 members of our Jewish community, and our thoughts are with their families, those who are injured and receiving treatment, and all those who have been affected by this act of anti-Semitic terror." They also urged Jewish communities nationwide to follow guidance from the Community Security Trust, the police, and relevant authorities, stressing that vigilance is now more important than ever. At a political level, Prime Minister Keir Starmer condemned the attack in the strongest possible terms. He described it as an attack on Jews because they are Jews, carried out by, in his words, a vile individual. After chairing a Cobra emergency meeting, the Prime Minister addressed the country directly from Downing Street. He said, "To every Jewish person in this country, I also want to say this. I know how much fear you will be holding inside of you. I really do. And so, on behalf of our country, I express my solidarity, but also my sadness that you still have to live with these fears. Nobody should have to do that. Nobody. And so I promise you that I will do everything in my power to guarantee you the security that you deserve, starting with a more visible police presence, protecting your community. I promise you that over the coming days, you will see the other Britain, the Britain of compassion, of decency, of love." That promise comes alongside confirmation that additional police assets are now being deployed to synagogues nationwide. So to summarize where we stand tonight, the attacker has been named as Jihad al-Shami, a British citizen of Syrian descent. He was shot dead at the scene by armed officers. 3 other suspects, 2 men and a woman, are now under arrest. 2 victims have tragically died, while 3 more are being treated for serious injuries. A suspicious device was found on the attacker, but it has since been declared not viable. Al-Shami was not known to police or MI5 in any ongoing investigation, raising serious questions for the days ahead. And finally, both government and Jewish community leaders are calling for vigilance, unity, and resilience in the face of this anti-Semitic terror attack. This remains a developing situation and will continue to bring you updates as more details come to light. In other news, veterans across the UK are joining legal action against American PPE company 3M over hearing loss caused by allegedly defective ear protection. From 2003 to 2023, 3M supplied an estimated 400,000 sets of combat arms earplugs to the Ministry of Defence. The Royal British Legion estimates more than 300,000 men and women who served in Britain's armed forces now suffer from life-changing hearing difficulties. Dave Pettifer is a Royal Marines veteran and one of those joining the legal action. He says he regularly used the earplugs during his 3 tours of Afghanistan. He said, "Certainly over the last sort of 3 or 4 years now, I've noticed that I can't hear anybody speaking if there's a bit of background noise, even if it's just another conversation going on quite close to me. When you can't hear what they're saying, and you maybe have to ask them what they've said a second time, or even a third time, is incredibly embarrassing. Am I going to have hearing aids by the time I'm 50? I've been asked the question before, what do you want? Do you want them to say sorry? What good is that to anybody now? It's absolutely useless." Now, the first ever UK legal action against 3M has officially begun. KP Law have issued a pre-action letter to the American company this week, seeking justice and compensation for hearing-impaired British troops. The case comes after the company agreed to set aside more than $6 billion to settle claims from US military personnel in 2023. 3M announced this previous litigation did not involve any admission of liability. Tom Longstaff is head of product liability at KP Law and believes current compensation schemes in the UK for illness or injury caused by service aren't good enough. He said, "Individuals have used the combat arms earplugs thinking that they were protected from the very high volume and high levels of noise they were exposed to during their employment, including on active tours of Iraq and Afghanistan. Sometime late, they have developed debilitating hearing conditions, including hearing loss and including tinnitus. It's simply not good enough to say to veterans that they can apply for compensation through a government-funded scheme. We've already seen that very few people, in fact, have received any compensation at all." In Parliament, the MP for Solihull West and Shirley, Neil Shastri Hurst, has called for a public inquiry into the use of the earplugs. The Conservative politician says an inquiry would help ensure accountability. He commented saying, "Those that have taken the King's shilling to defend our national interests deserve to be protected. And when there is equipment that is putting them in harm's way because of the fact that it is potentially defective, I think that asks for questions to be answered by government and by the Ministry of Defence more widely." In response, a 3M spokesperson said, "3M has great respect for the British Armed Forces. We are proud of our commitment to keeping service members safe through the supply of 3M products, and we take the allegations concerning our combat arms earplug version 2 seriously. When used properly, this product was safe and effective for its intended purpose." The resolution of previous litigation in the United States did not involve any admission of liability, and 3M is prepared to defend itself in any litigation threatened in the English courts regarding that product. A spokesperson for the Ministry of Defence added, "We take the health and well-being of our personnel seriously and always look at how we can reduce noise levels in their working environment. This is alongside providing training, protective equipment and regular hearing tests to detect any early signs of hearing loss so action can be taken if necessary. The Armed Forces Compensation Scheme provides no-fault compensation to service personnel and veterans for injuries, illness and death caused by service." What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you have not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.